Good morning. My name is Tosca Bruno van Vijveken and I work at the Transnational NGO Initiative at the Moynihan Institute at Syracuse University. Today I'm undertaking a brief conversational interview with Ricardo Gomez of Plan Internationally. Most recently he was the country director for Plan in Guatemala. Thank you, Ricardo, for allowing us to interview this morning. This will be a very helpful tool, this web video, for students and faculty alike. Let me start out by asking you, for those who don't know, what is the nature and mission of Plan International?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, Plan started at 73, 4 years ago, during the Spanish Civil War, looking after children that were left up to the war, basically with orphanages. And then it went on into the Second World War, and then it spread out all over the world, and right now we work in 67 countries, and our focus continues to be children.
Okay.
But on a community, what we call child-centered community development.
Mm-hmm.
This is working with the entire community and supporting the community, for the community to support children and provide a better future for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, how did you, as a leader, first become interested in transnational activism? You have a fairly interesting background.
I went to school in the States. I have an MBA from Xavier University, and then as it was supposed to be, I started working with a multinational organization as a finance manager.
This was a corporation?
A corporation, Exxon, yeah?
Exxon, okay.
But I studied with the Jesuits, so I had this social desire in myself, and always thought about working with an NGO,
okay.
yeah? And that's how I, after working for 10 years with Exxon, I decided to shift, and then I came across Plan International.
Okay. Can you very briefly tell me about what you think are the most striking differences between working with a large multinational corporation like Exxon and working with an NGO like Plan International?
Very big differences, you know, and when I see it in retrospective, it was great. I did it that way, that I studied business, that I joined a private sector, and then move into the NGO, which is very different. In those days, I have been working with Plan for 18 years. Those days was even more different, because NGOs wanting to be more effective, more efficient, more business-like.
Mm-hmm.
We have and continue to copy a lot of learning from the private sector. Yeah, NGOs have become very large. A place like in Guatemala, we manage a budget of between 10 to 14 million dollars, 250 employees, 3,000 projects every year. Mm-hmm. So it's a business.
Yes. And
you need to manage it as a business and be very efficient and effective. Deal with local laws, deal with audits, deal with internal controls. Mm-hmm. So it's a business.
So
yeah?
In that sense, there's a lot of overlapping skills and knowledge.
That's correct, because this has been how NGOs have been evolving over the past 10 years, becoming more business-like.
And more professionalized.
And more professionalized, and big donors want that.
Right.
Yeah? They want the dollars to go a long way.
So let's talk then about some of the core challenges that Plan International, and in your experience at the Plan at the country level, some of the core challenges that Plan International is currently facing, and how is it going about dealing with those challenges?
The greatest impact for Plan and most NGOs is to have impact, demonstrate impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the latest trend is a rights-based approach. Mm-hmm. Yes, getting away from charity, getting away from service delivery. Yes, and encouraging people who we work with, communities, poor people to be more empowered. Yes, so this has brought a tremendous challenge for the organization. Yeah, to make this shift. It's very easy to go and provide goods and services to communities, and to make this shift is it's a major change for the organization as an entity, and for all the staff, and even for communities that we work with.
So that is your top challenge right now as an organization. Is there any other one that comes close that you'd like to highlight, or is this really the overarching challenge now for Plan, how to move from a direct service delivery, needs-based approach to a rights-based approach?
Right. This is the main challenge, and it is because we want programs to be sustainable. Yeah. As you know, poverty continues to grow worldwide, with the exception of China and India, but worldwide continues to grow. So the question is, what impact are NGOs having if you have not been able to alleviate, to bring people out of poverty?
Right. So since you emphasize impact so much as a continuous core challenge, let me ask you, how does Plan International define effectiveness? How do you know as an organization when you are effective? How do you assess that?
You need to bring both into account, effective and efficient, because you can be very effective, very inefficient. So you need to bring both. And again, the efficiency one, because it's a business.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So effectiveness, it's having impact and lasting impact in the lives of children. In the case of Plan. Yes. And it's not only this particular child, but the siblings, brothers, sisters. Yes. And the entire community. Yeah. Most NGOs have moved from this individual approach to a community group approach. Yes. And that puts tremendous pressure on being effective. Effective not for this particular child, but for the entire community and the generation. And that's, by the way, how one of the reasons a right-based approach came into effect. Because if a right is embedded in a community, really embedded in a community, and community members, citizens are empowered, that becomes a lasting, sustainable right.
Well, let me ask you then, so if lasting impact at the group and community level is your definition of effectiveness, and putting that in a rights-based context, then how do you know that Plan is effective in terms of an embedded sense and exercise, as you always say, of rights? How do you assess that?
We have planning cycles, between 5 to 6 years. We do a planning process. We collect data from the communities we work with, and then we do a midterm evaluation. This would be 3 years, and then a final evaluation of this planning cycle. Yes, and every time we go deeper into how effective we are, because years back when I started working with Plan, we measure whether we had impact again in the lives of specific children. But now it's not so much if we have impact on individual, but if this right, or let's say education, is being exercised by children in the community.
I see.
Yes, and by saying exercising a right, it's us getting away from providing the service.
Yeah.
We need state institutions to provide those services.
Right. So that is part of what you will be monitoring and evaluating, whether the state is indeed taking on that role.
Correct, and that's been effective.
Yes. Okay. I need to move to my last question, and that is really about leadership skills. Formal leadership skills, but equally important, informal skills. What leadership skills are crucial to be an effective leader in Plan International with its specific organizational culture? How would you define what it means to be a good leader in Plan?
Right. It varies, and I will say that nor Plan nor most of organizations have a it's quite a complex issue for organization to have a model of a leader, because it pertains so much to the individual. Yes, but I will say a successful leader is someone who's able to pool the staff. Yes, we have in Guatemala 250. Bring them together.
Okay.
Have a common goal. Have a common objective. Yes. And what we did in Guatemala is we said we work with 700 communities. And we realized that we, 250 staff members, we are the #1 community. We need to be a model to the communities we want to have impact with.
I see.
The only way to get out of poverty is to come together, to have a social cohesion. Yeah, you don't come out of poverty on your own. Right? It's a community effort. It's a community affair. It's a collective action. So we reflected that in-house. We need to model that. Yes. And to me, that would be an effective leader, someone able to bring everyone together, inspire everyone into the objective you want to accomplish, and live with it on a day-to-day basis. Therefore, when you interact with communities, they mirror. Yeah, they see who you are. Yes, so.
And so that is the most important facet of leadership to you.
Well, being country director, I always felt that staff in the field, and out of 250 employees, we have 100 facilitators. These are employees, women and men who go to communities every day. Yeah, they are the ones doing the job. My message to them is, I work for you guys. You don't work for me. What do you need? What can I do for you so you can do your job properly? Yes.
Yes.
And it's I believe in the leader who serves.
Okay.
Yeah, who's supporting others.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
interview this morning, Ricardo.